Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, and we are going to be talking through, honestly, one of the more renowned Star Wars novels that has been produced. And it's renowned because of, literally, the plot itself is so rich. It has political drama, it has, obviously, in the Star Wars universe, it has all of the high notes of the Force and the dark side and the light side. It has ambition, it has treachery, it has betrayal. It is James Luceno's Darth Plagueis. And in this book, we get a glimpse into the history of Palpatine, Darth Sidious. And we get a glimpse into see how this Dark Lord of the Sith was able to rise in power, rise in his knowledge of the dark side, vanquish really any competition, and ascend to where we will eventually meet him in the prequel trilogy. And James Luceno does such a wonderful job of presenting Palpatine not as an amiable character. There's no point in this that I felt like you were rooting for Palpatine. In fact, you're kind of rooting, at least I find myself more rooting for Plagueis, in the sense that I wanted to see if he could accomplish what he set out to accomplish. And so what is the original plot of this book? Well, we open up on the scene of Plagueis murdering his master. And here is the fault and the foil of any type of organized Sith structure. Since Darth Bane, as we'll begin to unpack in this book, and the creation of the Rule of Two. And you'll hear this in episode 1. Yoda will tell this to Obi-Wan after Qui-Gon's death. Only two there are, no more, no less, a master and an apprentice. That was created by Darth Bane, one of the premier Siths in history. And Plagueis is embracing that, and he murders his master, therefore becoming the predominant Sith, and now is looking for an apprentice. Now, he's not looking for an apprentice out of the goodness of his heart, right? He's not trying to bring some young buck along so they can eventually kill him. No, Darth Plagueis has a goal, and his entire goal in this story is to once and for all achieve immortality. He does not ever want to have to deal with the reality of death in his life. And he's a Moon, and so their people are extremely business savvy. They're very politically oriented. So that is going to be how he is going to present himself, a very successful businessman who is a humble patron. And he's going to interact with the Jedi. He's going to interact with a lot of different planets, all while acquiring wealth, influence, power, so that he can continue his research into immortality. And he kind of burns through a couple apprentices early on, realizing that no one has his tenacity for the dark side, for the ambition of actually pushing the midichlorian count to actually do this research. And until, on a small planet of Naboo, he meets a young Palpatine, and very quickly is impressed by how little he can read of Palpatine, because he'll find out Palpatine himself, even at such a young age, has such a mastery of the dark side of the Force that he is able to actually hold off the Force-driven knowledge and the mind reading of Plagueis. He sets his sights on Palpatine, and their journey begins. And so as you get into the story, both are trying to pursue a different agenda, all while kind of not letting the other know. Again, the Rule of Two is not really one that's set up for trust and mutual support here. Not like the Jedi structure of train up your apprentice so that they can take the tests and become a master themselves and then take on another apprentice. No, it is very much a a necessary evil. We are here together, we're helping each other, but for our own purpose. And we see really the flaw of the Sith mindset. So the story continues from there. Plagueis is pursuing his ends. Palpatine is pursuing his political ends. And when these two things come into conflict, you have an incredible story. So Darth Plagueis by James Luceno, it is incredible, the story. And this is for many fans of the Star Wars novels, especially the expanded universe, this is oftentimes at one of the top 2 or 3 Star Wars novels that have ever been written. And so some people that I had been listening to early on, this is one that was always presented. So when I started to listen to it, I thought, this is something that I really need to focus in on and read, because apparently this has made such a wide impact on the Star Wars universe. And it's so true. James Luceno does an incredible job of tying in actually parts of the story. We sort of get behind the scenes of episode 1. So not only does he create an incredible story here, he actually strengthens episode 1 of the prequels that George Lucas created. And when you can come alongside the major media, tie in a way that supports it, and in a way makes it better because you appreciate so much more of the world being built around it, that is a special book. So check it out. Darth Plagueis, James Luceno. You're going to see these two characters. You're going to see Palpatine and Plagueis begin their journey together. And what is about to happen is something that could only happen when you have 2 very powerful Sith who are working together for the time being. So check it out. Let me know what you think of it, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you.